Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you're making it a good one. We know that we are as well. As I take a sip out of my Jason's Deli Making People Happy cup, how about Thatcher Hurd, y'all? How about Thatcher Hurd? Goes 12 up, 12 down, starts getting into that sixth, working in that 6+ inning. Man, if LSU can get that from Thatcher Hurd, watch out. Watch out, because you have what some would argue the toughest game, one of the toughest games that you can have in Hoover tomorrow, and Paul Skeens is going. So you're good with Thatcher Hurd. Nate Ackenhausen comes in, gives you 3 2/3 innings, shuts the door completely shut. Oh, and by the way, you hit the ball really damn good too. And guess who's back? His name's Dylan Cruz.
We're back.
I mean, it's not like he really went anywhere, right? Because he still is hitting over 400, but even the Crewster went 2 for 4 today. So a lot of baseball talk here tonight. Matt Trent joins us at 7:30 to talk baseball. And you know what it's like when Matt Trent comes in here, man. You know what it's like when Matt Trent comes in here. It always gets live. So we talk the recap. Can LSU with, 2 back-to-back performances from Thatcher Hurd, can he continue to be that hot? We'll find out as we are in postseason play. If you want to, I know that Paul's Hub Martin's in the chat, and maybe he can update your boy on some of these scores and games. I know Florida was taking on Alabama. So if you want to keep us and people live in the chat of what's going on, you can do so. But it's a massive show here tonight. It's going to be a lot of baseball, so stay tuned with us. We'll get some other conference updates in reference to some teams that are winning, some teams to keep our eye on. As an example, Southern Miss. Tanner Hall, their ace, went 9 innings today in a complete game. I believe it was a shutout. I could be wrong there. A team that you could see as the 2 seed in your regional, which we'll find out. We'll find out very soon. So, lot to talk about. Here comes Paul Skeens. He's throwing tomorrow. It has been confirmed, and I think it's the right move. We'll talk to Matt as a guy who has been a former collegiate pitcher, is going to join us, and he's going to let us know. I mean, is it or is it not? I think it's the right move to go to Skeens, because if you win tomorrow, you have Friday off. You can reset. That's another day for Ty Floyd to rest. You can regroup as a team and then come into this and get re-locked in and refocused. So I like it, man. I like our chances. As much as I didn't think about it, I guess, God, is it massive for you that you just went out there and won that game today, because now you're a win away with Paul Skeens on the mound to not playing that Friday and one step closer to winning this thing. And I know that there was some debate on Twitter, does it really matter if we win this thing? But, man, you just win to play championships, right? Like, I don't know if it doesn't sit right with you, but it doesn't sit right with me when you get to a place where you beat Arkansas 2 out of 3 games and they technically won the regular season because you had some guys and injuries and things struggling. And LSU's struggling is not like everybody else's. So even now, like Bama's up 3-2. Could you imagine Florida having to go into the losers bracket if you could win that game tomorrow with the best pitcher in the country on the mound? You want to win this thing, man. You win to play championships, so we'll talk about that here in the show. Sorry, something got locked up. Aaron Miller. I like this comment from Aaron Miller. He says, your approach to games can carry over 1,000%. And don't let this team get hot. And, like, you're coming off the worst slump of the year, a really damn good team. Don't let this team get hot. Man, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I like where we're at right now, man. I really, really, really do in this game. But we'll get to a couple of these comments here. Keep rolling them in. Edo says you play to win the game. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, you do. Yeah, Trey Patton and Brandon Graziano. What's up, Brandon? By the way, my man, thanks for the comment on Facebook of those people from Hammond attacking me. See, y'all think I just come on here and BS. I don't BS. I told you they was after you, boy. Delton Duce says Bama just took the lead. There you go. There you go. Nathan E says having the game at 9:30 was lit, though. I didn't do anything at work until 1 p.m. Yes, indeed. Vaughn says, does Skeens pitch tomorrow? He does. He will be on the mound. Jake Roberts with the $199 super chat. My man. Look at him. Says the real Thatcher Hurd has stood up. So I asked yesterday, so I should probably clip this. I said this, what Thatcher Hurd will stand up, and Jake Roberts is in the chat letting us know. Hey, Blake, you said what Thatcher Hurd will stand up. Well, he showed you today, and that man did. That man did. No question about that one. Thank you for the super chat. It really does help us, guys, when y'all do that. All right, a couple more, then we'll get rolling. Jacob Wiggins says, let's go. What's up, Jacob? Nathan E says, Dugas pulled back bunt into a swing was the highlight of my day. The highlight of my day was not only Thatcher Hurd, but Nate Ackenhausen, because this is why it was for me. You knew ultimately Thatcher Hurd had that in him. You saw it against Texas. And look, Texas, as much as we talk trash about them in the beginning of the year, they're not a bad team. They could easily see themselves making a little bit of a run. They're not a bad overall team. You knew he had it in him. You saw it today against a South Carolina team that can hit. 5 dudes with double-digit home runs. That is on par with you and Tennessee, who hits the ball. Florida. I don't think Florida has that many because, they got some small dudes. All right, last one, then we'll get rolling. Or 2 more. Albert O says some people like Moscona didn't even want to throw Skeens when asked on Monday. I don't really care what Matt has to say, man. I mean, if he wants to have that take, he can. But what I don't like is like people going in like, come on, man. We're grown-ass men. You don't have to come on my show or their show. I saw one guy went in there because he was talking about my son, which, by the way, the quickest way to be blocked is talk shit about my kids. Talk shit. And if I say you, things will be done. Was really great to see Hurd and Ackenhausen handle business. Spared the bullpen. No question. No question. All right, let's get this thing rolling. Everybody do us a favor. We're 12 minutes in. I guess we've already been rolling. Like the opening monologue. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about our good friends over at BetOnline and our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons. Before we do that, do us a favor. Don't forget, hit that like and share. Share all those chats or groups. What do you call them on Facebook? Share to your own social media pages, man. It really does help us when you do that. If you're listening to us on YouTube, do that as well. We appreciate you joining us on YouTube. Subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. We're producing content every single day. If you're listening to us on the TuneIn app, XM Radio, or wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Let's get to this break. Let's talk and recap the game. There's some key pieces that we need to talk about here. Skeens going tomorrow in Arkansas. We'll preview. Can you make that run to Omaha? Matt Trent next. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Vardo & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down on the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons, go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992, 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. I didn't say it this time because I got some news. I have some very important news. It has come to my attention that Brian Kelly has a massive problem, as it's being reported. Ben Ruffino is in love with baseball. Guys, I know that you have been wanting him to play left tackle, be there in 2037, the class of 2037 going strong. But I'm already starting to throw to him out in the yard, and my man's going yard. Video or it didn't happen, Blake. Video or it didn't happen. Well, guess what? Daddy's got the video. And I call myself Daddy because I'm talking about my son Ben. You get what I mean? All right. Baker called himself Daddy. Oh. All right, let's talk about this. Look, Dylan Cruz, the conversations that we had constantly been having on this show or that you brought up in the chat. Man, Dylan Cruz really struggling. Yeah, I guess for the first overall pick. But he still hit over 400, though. And my man has literally hit safe, not got on base, but hit safe in the last 6 games. Some of those games, half of those games, by the way, he's gotten double-digit hits. So I don't know what we're talking about with him, but you know what? Today, man, he came up clutch. He kind of started getting the game wide open because in the bottom of the 5th, you had already been rolling. Thatcher Hurd was dominant and lights out. 12 up, 12 down. But you getting back-to-back singles against Eli Jones, and with a runner on first and second, Dylan Cruz, fastball at the belt, hits it right back up the middle. Now, you had gotten some runs already before that, and you kind of already probably remember how the game was going on. Braden Jobert, runner on first, hits a 2-yard bomb, a 2-run bomb. Another massive hit for the Tigers there. But we can't, at least for me, I can't go there, man. You hit dominant, and we'll talk about that. Especially we'll talk about that with Matt. What does it mean if Thatcher Hurd's going to have back-to-back performances like that? What does it mean if a guy can come out here and do what he did? Guys, all you need from him is what he did today. If he gives you 4 innings of no-hit baseball, now, he's not going to do that every time. But if he can stay consistent, like he did in the extra innings against Georgia, who was a really good hitting team and a very small ballpark, even though, he did give up those 2 home runs. I get it. But did y'all hear Dave Neal on the call today? That Thatcher Hurd's spin rate on his slider is 2,811. So the dude's got stuff. It does make me feel better about going into this regionals, going into a supers, because you do know how many games you're going to play there, give or take. Now, I guess you do technically know how many games you're going to play in the tournament. But I think you kind of get what I mean there. You go up against a really good hitting team. 5 guys, as we mentioned, had hit double-digit home runs. Well, Blake, they've been struggling the last 3 weeks. Well, I probably would too if my number 2 guy and the number 1 guy of my pen. It's kind of like something what you did or what you had at LSU. 2 big-time arms go down. They're just on the bad receiving end of that. But what a performance by Nate Ackenhausen, and what a performance by Thatcher Hurd. Nate Ackenhausen, now, he gave up some walks, and things got tight there a little bit at times. And I guess you could say maybe he got away with one on the early strikeout. But Nate Ackenhausen, when he came into the top of the 7th, and even when he came into the bottom of the 6th, or top of the 6th, excuse me, why I keep saying bottom. But even when he came into the top of the 6th, he got a strikeout and a ground out to himself. He comes into the top of the 7th. He gets a bunt single, a strikeout, a walk, a strikeout, and a strikeout. I don't want to say 3 letters K, and you know the last one because you never know what happens. But that man delivered for you. A guy that in the early part of the year, you were thought there could be a very big rotational piece in that bullpen. Well, then he hurts his hammy, comes back. He's not really the same. But he goes 3 2/3 innings of only allowing 1 hit. Kind of sounds a little something like what our guest told you about 3.5 weeks ago. Yeah, Blake, I'm hovering over it, but you got to understand it's a long season. Probably interesting coming from an ex-former collegiate baseball pitcher, but he said, yeah, you hover over it, but I'll let you know when it's time. I don't know if it's time today, because if you get that, you will be fine. But let's talk about what happened at the plate. Bottom of 2, Jones is still in to pitch. Brain Jobert would hit a massive 2-run home run after a Cade Beloso line out and a Jordan Thompson walk. You come into the top of the 5th, and Hurd, who gives up a home run, okay, battles back. Gave up the home run to Petrie. You come into the bottom of the 5th, Brain Jobert, who we have to have a serious conversation about. You know, a lot of people has made a lot about Brain Jobert this season. Well, he's not at the home run rate he was at. Like, I know some people were talking about that in the chat a couple of weeks ago. He's hitting over 300. Last year, he hit 250, and maybe you would want some more run producing. Well, he's doing that. Line drive single into the shift into right field. Gavin Dugas would single. Proctor would come in. Cruz would single into left field. Run would you would have bases loaded. He'd come in later and get an RBI off that same situation, I might add. So Dylan Cruz at the plate was hitting the balls really hard when runners were on base. Tommy White and Josh Pearson would walk in runs. Sack fly, and then you blow it wide open. All around, I just thought it was an impressive win. A very impressive win. And look, you got some teams that are really hot right now, and you're seeing them in the tournament. Look, Alabama is beating currently Florida 3-2. You have Auburn doing what they did last night and looking really good. No telling what you can do. Paul Skeens is going tomorrow. Paul Skeens is on the mound. Sources. Paul Skeens is going tomorrow. So now, as we look into tomorrow, the best pitcher in the country is going against the SEC West champs. And what I would kind of think might kind of just be a little bit a revenge game, maybe, for Paul Skeens. Remember early in the year, LSU and extra innings would really, really struggle in game 1 when that game got in extras, is when kind of technically, I guess you could say, you started having question marks about the bullpen. But LSU came back in 2 games in that series, really took it to Arkansas. But Paul Skeens didn't get the win. Now, I do hope a little bit of Thatcher Hurd rubs off on Paul Skeens. Maybe he can go 4 hitless like Thatcher Hurd did. But did y'all see that? The glove? I mean, I know they made a deal of it. Wonder if Matt Trent's ever worn a player or a teammate of his glove to have some power rubbed off on him. Pause. But man, I feel so much better about winning tomorrow. You get off Friday if you win tomorrow, but I feel better about you going up against a really damn good team. Now, we've watched Arkansas all year long. They're not going to impress you. They're not stat stuffing Supremes. This isn't Taco Bell. You're not going to get a stat stuffer Supreme. But what do? They pitch really well. They have a lot of timely hits like they did today. Bases loading. Wagner comes up and hits an absolute missile out into left field. New ball game. It's actually not tied. It is 5-4, and A&M would have to tie that game late, but they come in back, home run. They get out of there. They win it in extras. They're a really good team. But the problem is I think that maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm biased. You know what? I was going to say maybe the best pitcher that LSU's ever had, but I'm there. The best guy that's ever put on that uniform, his name is Paul Skeens when it comes to him being on the mound. I'm there. Blake, it's only 1 year. What about the career? Screw the career. Because y'all won't be saying that, Shizite. When he's on the mound in the MLB and he's winning the Cy Young. Be like, that's an LSU boy right there. Yes. But I don't know what the over-under is. I think I might take the under. Because, by the way, Arkansas's got some dudes, too, on the mound. You remember game 1? They went lefty-lefty. I don't remember the kid's name on the top of my head. I lost my notes. Thanks, guys. But you remember the lefty-lefty they came at you with then. So we'll see. Let's get to a couple comments. We're going to get to Matt Trent a little bit earlier than normal. The guys tell me that Matt Trent's he's in the background. Okay, so he's been listening. Okay, how much has he listened to? Oh, the entire segment. Okay. All right. Hagen Smith. Thank you, Jake Roberts. Adam Keene says Ben McDonald is the GOAT. Maybe from a career perspective. Come on, man. Ben will tell you. Ben don't want to admit it, but if he breaks that record, he's going to tell you. Matthew Abear says Arkansas's game plan is going to be simply hunting the fastball. Agreed. Says Skeens needs to rely more on his off speed. That slider is going to be fire. I'm not going to tell. I have no business telling Paul Skeens what to do. I mean, his glove made Thatcher Hurd look like an all-star. Oh, God. Made him look like an all-star. Ed O says, I know it's apples to oranges comparison. I don't know what that means. Ryan says, Matt Trent hovering over in the background. Hashtag sources. Is he? I bet you my man comes out in a suit and tie. My man's ready. He said he was going to bring the heat like his name is Paul Skeens. You know what? Let's get to him. He's here. I'm not going to keep him waiting. Let's talk about our good friend Carol Foss over at State Farm. We're back next. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates. on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, how are you?
Not hovering over a panic button.
Tough scene. You know, it's funny. I would like to start tonight with a fantastic story that I witnessed this weekend in Baton Rouge. I'm not even joking. I haven't even told you this. Okay.
Okay.
So I had this weekend off, and I needed some stuff from Dick's Sporting Goods. And so I go to Dick's, and I'm in line, like I got my stuff, and I'm with my fiance. And we're sitting there, and I'm at one register, and across the way at another register is a guy checking out with an LSU baseball shirt on. And he's sitting there, like going through the stuff, and the cashier's trying to make small talk with him. And the cashier asked him, "Who do you think should be drafted first overall this summer? Paul Skeens or Dylan Cruz?" And I'm just kind of like side eyeing just to see what he says.
Oh,
and
God.
The guy was like, Paul Skeens 100%. I go, okay, that's fair. Like, whatever. He goes, yeah, got to, because look, the way I look at it, Dylan Cruz is going to come around all the time. Like a player like that, you can get that anywhere. But Paul Skeens, can't find that anywhere. I was like, oh, so a 5-tool player that can hit for power, hit for average, not strike out a ton, run, throw, and do pretty much everything at a big league level, those dudes grow on trees? Oh, okay. Interesting. I was unaware that Dylan Cruz first round picks out of high school that come to college are just everywhere for everyone. I was shocked. That was shocking. Whoever that dude was, with all due respect, and I say this in the nicest way possible, sir, you are brain dead. Like, that's the kind of people that we're dealing with here for LSU baseball. Carry on.
How long have you been waiting to tell that story?
I just was – it was funny because –
How long have you been waiting to tell that story?
Well, since this weekend. And I was sitting – and I just kind of looked over and I was like – and my fiance heard it, and she's pretty baseball knowledgeable. And she was like, that was really dumb. It's like, yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. Like, I mean, who's the best player since Alex Bregman? Like, as an example, if they come around every year, why haven't you had one since Bregman?
Yeah, but like, just the fact that the guy was like, guys like Dylan Cruz come around all the time. Like, you're going to get that one every other year. Like, no, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
How drunk are you right now?
Oh, he was probably pretty drunk. But he was great until he got to you can get a Dylan Cruz anywhere.
Yeah, I was like, I'm fine with Paul
Skeens. You have, you know what, Matt? I say that, but man, I mean, Tommy Tanks is here, and I know he's not a 5-tool player, but I kind of get what he's saying. Like, if a kid goes in the portal, like, I mean, let me ask you this question. Is there really any business that Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, and Paul Skeens should all be on the same team?
No.
Right. Okay. I mean, so, we say that, but if a Tommy Tanks goes back in the portal again, are we going to count Jay Johnson's ass out in recruiting?
No.
Okay, so maybe there's a slither of, just like, oh, well.
No. Like, it's just funny, too, because I'm just, like, seeing – and that's the thing, too, is, like, Jay has recruited so well. There is a guy also – I don't know if you're aware of this. There is a guy that's signed with LSU that goes to Blinn Junior College who is in the Junior College World Series at the moment. I can't remember his name. He's a freshman at this junior college. And then I'm seeing, like, there's just such a wide range of guys that he's signed, right? Like, he's got a good mix of high school kids. He's got a good mix of high school kids that are probably going to go in the draft. He's got JUCO kids. He's probably going to hit the portal. Jay has done a good job at looking at what LSU needs and finding it, but also making sure that it's going to stay, right?
Right. Well, and Matt, another thing too, there's no business Connor Griffin has been here, but you've heard this. I've heard this. The whispers around Baton Rouge are, okay, he might sign, and that might ultimately be the thing that he does. There is serious talks with NIL and that kid being here. Like,
yeah, look, like I think I've said this on your show and a couple other places, like everybody that I've talked to from Joe Schmo that has seen him and professional scouts and other coaches are like, I talked to one scout in particular that was like, look, I have covered Mike Trout in high school, Manny Machado in high school, named like a couple other perennial all-stars in the big leagues.
Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton, another one. They were like, he's right there now and could be better. And Blake, he's a year ahead. Like he should be.
He reclassified. He should be a junior.
Right. So it's like, okay, that kind of talent that comes here, Dylan Cruz probably shouldn't have been at LSU. Paxton Kling probably shouldn't have been at LSU. Brady Neal probably shouldn't have been at LSU. You can go down the list all day long, but that's the kind of talent. Obviously, with NIL, let's not act like they're all coming here for Jay Johnson. Like, let's be real. They are, but they aren't. But Jay is also a big piece of that because what I love about it too, and Kay Beloso is a prime example of this. Jay has got such a vast array of dudes that not only have had success at the college level, but are big leaguers and have gotten drafted. Kay Beloso, they literally broke his swing down to the most fundamental levels this offseason. And you know what Jay did? Jay took him and said, hey, I had this guy when I was at Arizona. He's your similar build. He's left-handed. He's got kind of the same swing path as you do. And here's what we did with him. And we're going to do that with you. That's exactly what he did. And they do that every single time. Because Jay's knowledge and Rolodex of like talent is huge. I mean, he coached Chris Bryant for God's sakes, like he can do that at such an elite level and it works and he can apply it to guys like Kay Beloso. Because look, if you and I would have sat here and said, who's going to be one of the bigger, not just bats, but like power bats in this lineup, and somebody would have said Kay Beloso, I would have requested to have them drug tested. Seriously. Yeah, like he was in the opening day lineup last year, but no one would have said, oh, that's a double-digit homer guy right there. No.
Yeah, because you had 3 straight seasons, almost 4, when he wasn't doing anything, and so you start questioning if he fell off,
Right. And look, I remember us asking Paul Maneri about it, and Paul was like, "Oh, well, we just need to like raise his hands and do some other
completely
things."
Different philosophy of what Jay did.
Yeah, and it's like, no, it's way more than that.
So let's transition to the game right quick, Matt, because we have a lot of questions for you, I guess, basically about Thatcher Hurd. I'm not going to thank you guys for the chat, but Matt, it's literally like 6 or 7, and all of them are basically kind of asking earlier when we brought you on, what is your thoughts on Thatcher Hurd? Now, you can make the argument that West kind of changed him up, and now he's just going out of the stretch, and it's really helped him at times. But, man, Matt, 4 innings of no-hit baseball, and perfect baseball at that, and coming off the least amount of days rest than a lot of people, and how many pitches that he threw on Thursday.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I say this. The one thing that impressed me the most about Thatcher Hurd today was, it was the X amount of innings of no-hit baseball. It was going into the 6th inning. It was, the limited amount of walks, all that. All that's great. The one thing that impressed me the most today is 3 ball counts that he pitched to contact.
Right.
Every single time.
So we have this. Do you want to know how many it was?
I would say I would say he probably had in the sixth, he pitched to the sixth inning. I probably would say he had 6 or 7 3-ball counts.
7. Yeah. It was 7.
Yeah, that's 7. And this is the thing, like his walks have been so bad because if you go back and look at starts, he's trying to like put dudes away on 3-2, on throw a really fine pitch on 3-1. Dude, at that point, when you've got Thatcher Hurd stuff, bro, just throw it for a strike. Like, just throw it for a strike. And I thought that when he faced Petrie the first time and he threw the 3-2 breaking ball right down the middle and it locked him up, I was like, he's just got more confidence in his stuff now. It's not like the stuff has never been there. It's always been there. He just hasn't really trusted it enough. And you can tell, like today, it wasn't fine. It wasn't painting the corners. I'm not trying to elevate. I'm just going to – and he said it after the game today. He was like, I was throwing it over the white. And that's as simple as it gets.
Yeah, that curveball to Petrie was ridiculous. Like, bro, it was – and look, I know that Petrie got one on him and good on him. I mean, he arguably is the best hitter as a freshman in college baseball. So, but Matt, I'm with you because he had his times in there, but man, did he battle though. Like the fifth when he gave up the home run, then he turned right around to LaCroix and gave up that line drive down the right field line, and then you come back and he gets a fly out to right, he gets the ground ball to Dugas, and then he gets his first K or second K of the day. Like he wasn't punching dudes out. He was, like you mentioned, literally pitching to contact.
Because then look too, like if this was last year, then you could have made the argument, well, he can't pitch to contact because the defense is so bad. Like now the defense is good, so there's no reason why when you get to 3 balls, especially with a dude that's been struggling like Thatcher Hurd, that just pitch to contact. I'm not saying, you groove one right down the heart of the plate and let them tee off on it, but I am saying put it in the zone to where it's a hittable pitch and getting outs. And he threw everything. He threw the curveball, the slider, the cutter, the change, the fastball, whatever he has, threw it for strikes in every count. And you see what that does to dudes. Even at the SEC, the top baseball conference, in the top baseball conference tournament in the country.
Going into tomorrow, well, no, let's stay on this game right quick, and then we'll get to tomorrow. Look, it's interesting. Yeah, we talk a little Tommy White. Because man, he's just smashed. We talk Dylan Cruz, in which, man, I really just don't have the energy to go down that rabbit hole about like, oh, what's up with Dylan Cruz? Because man, he out of the last 6 games, he has 3 games with double-digit hits. He's got a hit in every one of them. Okay, so at some point you got to be like, okay, dude's still hitting over 400. Okay. My thing is this: we got to have a serious conversation on Braden Jobert, dude. We have to have a serious conversation about, man, this is like the 4th weekend in a row or week in a row where my man's hitting over 300 now, bro. Like, it's not a joke anymore. Is Braden Jobert kind of sneaky, like could be one of the glue parts of this lineup? Am I crazy here? I gotta see him do better against lefties. I have to see him do better against lefties. That's fair.
But what I saw today, and I even said this today at 6, on the home run, Eli Jones, who had been like pretty steady up to that point, was
he and Thatcher Hurd were battling it out. I mean, it was a pitcher's duel.
Like Eli Jones is like mixing and matching. He's locating the fastball really well, and it's like pinpoints, really good. But he threw an 86-mile-an-hour 2-seamer to Jobert, and Jobert took it. And I mean, it was like belt high.
Right down the cock.
And he took it. And he like stepped out, and he didn't make a big deal about it, but I could just tell by his body language, he was like, that was the one to hit. That was the one to hit. And if I get it again, the very next pitch, it was 87, literally the same spot, and he just Just put it out to right. That I love. Like I love little stuff like that. That just gets me so hard. I mean that it does, because I love kind of like the game within the game type stuff. I'm being serious. Like I geek out.
Did you say that?
Yeah, dude. When he took 86 and the very next pitch was the same pitch at 87 right down the middle, bro, I was bricked up over here. I'm not even gonna.
Oh my god, bricked up.
I was like, that's awesome. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, pause, dude. Massive.
No pause. No pause. No pause.
Okay. Oh God.
Seriously though, like that's the thing that like this lineup is all. I mean, every single hitter in this lineup is about like in-game adjustments down to the bat, down to the pitch.
Oh God.
You give it to registered. Not going to do that again. Same pitch. There it is. And just puts it right out. It was fantastic.
Dude, can I tell you another person we got to talk about? Your boy. I might clip this and send it to him. Your boy Travinsky, man. Do you remember last year what we were talking about with him? Well, you know why Tyler McManus has got to start? Because Travinsky can't catch a ball. Name one time this season where Hayden Travinsky's been bad behind the plate. Please name one. Let's see. I'm weird because his blocking has gotten a lot better. But I think in terms of defensively, his glove behind the plate.
Defensively, if you asked him right now, I guarantee you that he will say his receiving has gotten even better, if not more better than his defense.
Dude, it is insane. I wrote this down when I was watching the game. You know what's interesting is it's when you go into, what was it, the six guys? Yeah, it was the top of the sixth, and Braswell gets a hit, Wimmer gets a hit, you get a walk, okay, and the bases are loaded, and Thatcher Hurd's still in the game. Okay. And this is the guy before Thatcher Hurd would go out. Thatcher Hurd got Petrie into that. Remember, he had like a 12 pitch at bat. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He threw 2 sliders in the dirt and Travinsky just short hopped it. And it's like, I literally sat there and said to myself, like, who the F is that guy? Because that guy last year didn't have a shot, Matt.
I'll tell you an unrelated story, kind of unrelated to Travinsky. This was one of like the first couple practices of the season. And if you ever go to like an LSU baseball practice or pregame, there's a 99% chance that Travinsky and Milazzo are arguing about something. That's just how they are. They're like good buddies. They're catchers. They're always arguing with each other. And it's so funny because they just rip on each other. And
I know. I heard him at the Southeastern game. He was like, "Hey, Panda Bear." He kept calling him Panda Bear.
He goes,
doesn't Milazzo look like a damn panda?
So Milazzo kind of looks like a drunk Jason Aldean to me. And also the way he talks, he's slow. He's kind of like slow a little bit. And he was talking about Paul Skeens this year when he called him. He goes, "Let me tell you, he's a 6'8" child." But no, so we go out to practice, and Milazzo and Travinsky are just like arguing, and it's like playful, but I can tell they're really starting to get annoyed with each other. And Travinsky says something to him, and this is like right when everybody was seeing like his mustache and like his facial hair or whatever. And Milazzo, they're just going back and forth. I can't remember what Travinsky said, and Milazzo turned around and was like, "Yeah, well, you look like Ted Bundy, bro." And it was just like, and Trubisky was just like, ah, damn it. Yeah, you got me on that one. And now I can't unsee it. Like, I see Hayden Travinski, and I just see Ted Bundy with an LSU helmet on. Like, that's all I see now. Yeah, well, you look like Ted Bundy.
That's so awful. Now it's gonna become a thing. It's gonna become a thing because of you. I didn't do that. I don't want to fight Travinski. Last thing before we go to tomorrow. Nate Ackenhausen, 3 2/3, one-hit baseball.
Dude, you needed that so much. Like, you needed that so much.
Man, he literally was in there dealing.
Because, like, I don't want to be that guy that is like, oh, this LSU team is so different when Paul Skeens does a pitch. Like, I don't want to be that guy because it's not true. But, like, you have to look sometimes at, like, how this team does from the bullpen's perspective when Paul Skeens doesn't pitch. And you needed someone to just go out there and set the tone and, honest to God, shove it right up somebody's ass. No pause on that either.
No, for real. No pause.
Like you did. And he just came out, everything was efficient. And then, in the sixth with one out, with bases loaded, you get out of that jam. And any time in the SEC tournament, any conference tournament that you can save your bullpen, it's exactly, you did your job. Thank you. You did your job. 3 2/3 with a couple punchies, six strikeouts, I think, whatever.
Yeah, it was 6 strikeouts.
I mean, come on. Come on.
And Matt, let me tell you something. I said this last night. I'm going to say it again. People were on me about me saying how massive today's win was going to be because it would tell you so many things. I had people in here sending me super chats. I said, "Will the real Thatcher Hurd please stand up?"
Mm-hmm.
And he did. And then
Here's the thing too, Blake. Is Paul Skeens going to pitch tomorrow? Probably.
Yes.
Probably. Yes. But what today did is hypothetically, if you're playing Arkansas tomorrow, they just expended a ton of energy with this extra inning walk-off game against A&M. Today, theoretically, if Jay's not going to do this, but I'm saying in a weird world, today gave you the option of holding Paul Skeens another day if you wanted to.
Correct. And Matt, he didn't have to make the decision because you don't have to throw him tomorrow against A&M.
Because here's the thing too is it's not like Ty Floyd pitched today and you've got the choice between Thatcher Hurd and Paul Skeens, which is pretty easy at this point. And I'm not saying that Thatcher Hurd had the performance today. Given that we don't know anything about Thatcher Hurd and what he's going to do, you're like, oh, Thatcher Hurd or Paul Skeens, go out there. Because me personally, I would much rather feel comfortable with facing a team because the deeper you get, the more chances you're going to face a team with one loss. Okay, that's an elimination game. You punch them out, whatever.
Right.
I'm much more like Paul Skeens in that scenario than I do anybody else on that team. Because the deeper you get, I would love to see – I thought about looking this up today, like the average amount of relievers that are used in a Paul Skeens start. It's less than 2.
Oh, yeah.
Hunter, I mean, it's less than 2.
The only game that happened was, believe it or not, South Carolina, but it was the rain delay, right? So again, I'm with you there. And you know what else, Matt? So on the flip side of that and talking about tomorrow, okay, you win tomorrow, okay, you're not having to battle back out of this hole. Matt, you're off on Friday, and Ty Floyd can go on Saturday.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like that.
So, are you, Matt? The line's out. It's -300 LSU over Arkansas. It literally, you could get it at -100 before that announcement happened. By tomorrow morning, it could be -400.
Because that's the thing is like, the more you win and the less relievers you use, like Jay has said this last year in a regional, he would go back to the hotel room and be like, oh God, who do I have? Who do I, you don't have that now. You got everybody, and everybody's capable, and everybody's going to be rested.
What do you think?
What
do you think Jay told Ackenhausen in the ninth when he came out there, and then Ackenhausen pointed at Jay and was like, he said something to Jay, and then Jay just like basically it looked like he told Jay said, well, then get his ass out then.
Yeah.
Like he was like, oh, you don't want me to come get you? Well, get his ass out. And then he got to fly out to end it. But going into tomorrow, Matt, I got to tell you, I feel so good about it because I just can't foresee Skeens laying an egg. And I think you're going to win tomorrow. I really do think that you can. And I'm going to tell you something. You know what a massive flex for this team and confidence for this team would be? If you win this bitch. Like, you win this thing. I get like last year you had Tennessee won it, then, Notre Dame beat them. But you can go off of that. There have been a lot of teams. 2017 LSU, for an example, won the tournament, got into regionals and super regionals and got super hot and made things happen.
Tell me, in what world, if LSU wins the SEC tournament, I don't care what Wake Forest does. Tell me in what world LSU runs the table and Hoover wins the SEC tournament that they're not the number 1 overall seed.
Let me give you a scenario. You ready? You remember that, and I told you this news, okay? We had the sourcing behind because there are people on that committee, right? I know, everybody knows that it's on that committee. Majority of the seeds and hosting sites know by Saturday morning. So if you want it, okay, like I know, I feel very strongly that Jay's been told that he's a top 8 national seed no matter what. Like I feel like,
of course,
and then.
But
for them, I think that the top 8 they're going to decide on that on Saturday at the latest, and so I could see them being number 2. But let me tell you what happens though if you do win it, and because you're having this success, and if Paul Skeens shoves against Arkansas tomorrow, Matt, instead of playing a Coastal Carolina and being on that, or being with some of these teams that are really good in this top 10, okay, getting with a hot Big 12 team, Oklahoma State, okay. But would you rather play the number 6? Let me ask you this. Would you rather play South Carolina again, or a team like South Carolina, or would you have to play the number 7 seed, 8 seed in a super? I mean, not in a super, and going in even in Omaha. You get what I'm saying here?
Come on.
Okay.
I watch.
They said you ready for Bible study.
What's wrong with Bible study? Nothing's wrong with Bible study.
We got Matt here saying that things that men are doing making him rock hard.
I am totally fine in my sexuality to say that.
You got people saying he's dressed like he's going to Bible study.
That's fine. What's wrong with Bible study?
At least you're not wearing a fishing shirt. Let's not go there. You think LSU takes this home tomorrow?
I mean, I think so. A&M staff is not great, and so Arkansas, even though it went to extras, they kind of blistered a couple balls. I mean, actually, more than a couple. I tell you who scares me in this tournament:
Auburn,
Alabama. I saw the way they.
What is it? 3-3 right now, right?
Yeah, it's 3-3 at the bottom of the 8th. Florida's got first and third. I just saw the way Alabama hit here, and coming in here, everybody was like, "This team sucks with the bats."
And Matt, let's call it what it is, man. They just don't have a head coach.
Yeah, there's that thing too. Yeah,
right? Like, I mean,
but even still, like that's just more of a reason. Like, dude, we're behind the 8 ball so much. Like, no one's picking us to do anything as a 9 seed. Like, whatever. They came to LSU. I think it was they out hit them the first game. LSU out hit them the second game, and then I think they both tied in the third game, or something like that, something wild like that. So it's like they can swing it. They can swing it a little bit.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, I'm the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but the opposite side of the state. I think Auburn is red hot, dude. They are red hot.
Yeah.
Matt, they've won their last 6 SEC series. Okay. They just beat down on Mizzou last night. I know Mizzou's not a great team, but man, I mean, they're just doing everything right.
I still don't trust that staff.
Okay, well, you don't have to trust it all you want to. They still be. I mean, look. Let me not say anything because they got Vandy, and Vandy could easily wax that ass tonight like their name's Mr. Miyagi. Okay, I thought that was kind of funny. Thought you'd chuckle, but I should have known by now. You don't chuckle at my jokes.
Hey, I'm looking at the chat. So what do you call 5 white bunnies holding hands, hopping backwards? Matt Trent's hairline. I don't get that. What am I missing?
I don't know, man.
I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense.
Don't read the comments.
I have to read the comments. They're right in front of my face. What does that mean, Jake Roberts? Doesn't make any sense. Okay? Do better. Hashtag do better.
Moving on.
I'm just saying. Look, you come for the king when you're called for, okay? All right? Don't come in here with this weak stuff, these weak trolls, okay? Don't do that. Jake Roberts, Jake from State Farm, Jake from Lane Farm, clown.
Okay.
God, I am upset tonight.
I can tell.
Hoover said I look like Bible study. I'm fine with that. I would be a great Bible study teacher.
You do look like you would have been a great youth pastor. You look like you play dodgeball with youth pastor kids. You know that's just smart. You do look like a guy that if you fully gave yourself to the Lord, you'd be a youth pastor.
I have a lot of jokes, but if I
please go ahead. Just go ahead.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I've already been banned from like one social media platform. I can't make it two. You know.
All right. Well, you could get me, man. Are you gonna text me what it is off air?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, but here's the truth. I honestly didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant it truthfully.
Jason Tabor just said hashtag Deacon Trent. I like that. I like that. You know what? I like that.
Clyde says, Matt, you're not stuck in Richmond where they don't really report on sports.
Funny. Big Richmond news today, mind you. One of my good friends, I don't mean to get political on this show.
Oh, yeah.
But one of my good friends from college was just named the presidential campaign manager for Ron DeSantis.
I did hop in that spaces that they try to do, but did you hear what happened?
It was like
so many people joined. So many people joined that it broke Twitter.
Yeah.
It literally broke Twitter.
Hey, Jake Roberts, don't be winding back your comments now. I'm not upset. You're upset. Don't do that. Calm down, bro. Don't be butthurt.
All right, Matt.
Don't do that.
Oh, well, Father Aber says, Matt, come start a Bible study at my church.
Is it? Here's an honest question. I'm being 100% serious. Is Father Aber like a real Catholic priest?
Yeah.
Or is he just like, oh, he is really? Okay.
Yeah, he is. Uh-huh.
I thought that was just like a bit. That's cool.
No, and dude, if he wouldn't have given himself to Jesus, he'd be in the majors. Look at him right here. Like, seriously. The dude's calves are bigger than Jay Johnson's entire torso.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah. You know who he's built like? You remember Dan Ugla?
I remember Dan Ugla. I'm a Braves fan. What do you mean? Do I remember Dan?
He's the left-handed Dan Ugla.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Dan Ugla.
So you didn't think my baseball knowledge went that fast, did you? Matt, let me tell you before I get you out of here. You know what we used to play? So we went to every one of my uncle's high school baseball games. Everyone. We never missed. Playoffs, all of them. So me, my cousins, my two cousins would be in the car with my mom, my Aunt Tony, my grandmother, and the three of us going to every single baseball game, right? We used to play the game where if I say Dan Ugla, you got to name a baseball player that first name starts with the letter U. And we would do that for hours. You ever play that?
No, I had friends growing up.
I didn't. See, that's what bullies say.
Hey, Clyde Lassard, you're in Richmond now? You are? That's cool.
I moved to Richmond from Baton Rouge. I'm not slamming you. Oh, okay.
Go to God, All-Star Superstars Pizza in Richmond and mention my name. And I guarantee you'll probably get thrown out. Great pizza in Richmond. Superstars Pizza. I eat there every day, almost every weekend.
Did you hit on girls at Richmond's Pizza? Was it like a bar at the end?
No.
You know how like Hammond, like if you serve food, sometimes it becomes a bar in Hammond.
Well, yeah. Women in Hammond are a lot different than women in Richmond.
Okay, I don't need my wife hearing that. See ya.
All I'm saying is that the 1 to 10 scale when you're judging women is different in Hammond and Richmond. Richmond, it's like, oh, that girl's a 10. She's like very beautiful. In Hammond, that's how many teeth they have. So she's got 10. So she's good. That's what I hear. I don't know.
An apology to my wife. She has all of her teeth. Thank you.
I didn't say. I just said I heard that.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for joining us, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. Or we'll talk to you tomorrow. Matt Trent, WBRZ. All right. We have passed our allotted time. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.